All right, guys, welcome back to the Santos Show. This is Justin and Sammy, your hosts.
What up,
Welcome
guys?
back to week 7. We have a lot to talk about. Me and Sammy are going to get into it, and it's going to be crazy because there's a lot of crazy stuff to happen this week. A lot of missed expectations for certain players and for certain teams, and some teams are just on a losing streak right now, not looking too great. But without further
Uh,
ado, let's go ahead and dig into the material this week, Sammy.
yeah, and I wanna kick this off with this. Honestly, Eagles are the best team in the NFL. Overreaction? Is that an
Well, I
overreaction?
mean, their record is displaying just that. I mean, when you look at their record, they're the only team in football right now that's 6-1. We have no
Yeah.
undefeated teams left. Um, they stand alone, 6-1.
Well, yes, but they an NFC. Now in the AFC, right? You still have the Chiefs, who are also 6-1 as well.
Correct.
Kind of hard to believe. Kind of hard to believe, but yeah, Chiefs
Yeah,
are also 6-1.
nuts.
Yeah, especially after the great performance that the Chiefs just had, right? Now I felt like they definitely probably could have punished a lot more, but I mean, you can't hate that Patrick Mahomes literally throwing over 400 yards. Like, come on, that's like just Patrick Mahomes. He's just different, man. It's just a different beast. But yeah, I just want to kick it off with that because honestly, that's all I can think about is like, is the Eagles the best? And honestly, do the Chiefs have a stand a chance against the Eagles? I I
I mean,
still want to put them. I still want to put the Chiefs, and I hate to do it, but I still want to put Chiefs at number one. It's hard to say that, but what do you think? You think the
I mean,
Eagles?
I don't think that's a far stretch when we look at what they've been doing. They do have
Mm-hmm.
a tough schedule coming up, so we'll see if they can maintain that lead. But
Right.
if they don't, I think it's clear cut. The best team in football is the Eagles.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off. Let's get into our first game. Justin, we got the Lions at the Baltimore Ravens. With the Ravens just absolutely sweeping the Lions 38-6. Baltimore had 16 first downs before the Lions had any. The offense, in my opinion, has a very high ceiling and just needs to be consistent. I think that they haven't had any games before this game with over 240 yards, which is kind of crazy, right? 240 yards. You would think for Baltimore, right? That should be cake, but they haven't been putting up those numbers. Tonight was the Sunday night was the only night I felt like they done it this past week.
What really surprised me this game, man, was Lamar Jackson. How
Mm.
in the hell do you let this guy throw 3 touchdowns and run one in? I mean, like, dude, this guy was a beast.
Yeah.
He was showing everyone at home and all the doubters that were saying,
That
oh,
he's
like,
still him. He's
he
still
can't
him.
throw the ball. You have to rely on his legs. Well, look and see what he just did. He proved everyone wrong. Every single time he was dropping back, I was like, okay, scramble, run. Here we go. This is Lamar Jackson. This is what's going to happen. Pressure coming. He's going to roll off to the side, and there he goes for 20 yards. But no, he just kept throwing the ball. Mark Andrews getting open. Odell Beckham getting open. Zay Flowers getting open. Like, these guys, like, their offense just clicked. And
Yep.
what in the hell were the
I,
Lions doing on defense?
I think when
Just
everything's
like,
clicking, I'm sorry, when everything's clicking though with this team, Justin, they can
mm-hmm,
be special, man. They can really be
yeah,
special. But
I
beating the
agree.
Lions the way they did,
Yeah.
and the form that the Lions were in, is just incredible. And it's definitely a confidence booster going into these next couple games for Baltimore. I feel like Baltimore needed that, right? Like they needed that. They needed that sign of life showing like, hey, we're not a team that is just gonna lay down. Like if we get to the playoffs, we're not just gonna lay down. We're going to like make that push, right? We want to be in the contention of being a Super Bowl team. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and I feel like they definitely can do it. And I feel like they can definitely be a force to be reckoned with. If they can put all these pieces together, look out, man. Look out. Like
Yeah,
this team could.
honestly, this is very concerning for the Lions, if anything. I mean, they did get off a winning streak by losing this game, but it's the way they lost this game. Like,
Mhm.
let them beat you on the ground. They're missing their number one running back. They're missing, Lamar Jackson in his pristine form that we saw a couple years ago, where he was just running the ball constantly. Let them do that to you, but do not let Lamar Jackson throw 3 touchdowns on your team. It's just, I my eyes are failing me, man. After seeing what the Lions did against the Bucks, and then the Ravens just stomp all over the Lions like how they did. It's just an embarrassing loss for the Lions, and they just got a big wake up call.
Yeah, I mean, and he was spraying around the ball, right? And he was actually hitting, 3 of his favorite targets, right? Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and
Yeah.
Odell Beckham. And Odell Beckham getting the majority of the receiving end of it, but at the same time, Zay Flowers, wow, I mean, he's an up and coming, right? Like we already knew this coming into this game. Like Zay Flowers, I feel like he could be that guy for this team, and. But like we've already talked about, like I think last week we talked about it. He just needs help. And then Odell, he finally woke up, right? You also had Gus Edwards, who actually had that reception for 80 yards, catch and freaking ran for 80 yards. I don't believe he made it to the end zone. I don't think he got a touchdown off that. But he ran for freaking 80 yards, man. That's incredible.
I have a question for you, Sammy.
Yeah.
Do you think that missing Montgomery says something about the Lions offense this past game? Or did
Well,
Jahmyr Gibbs do enough on the ground that it wouldn't be that big of a difference?
here's the problem. When you have Jared Goff, who's throwing 53 times, and only completing 33 of those, I mean, at that point, I felt like they should have been using more of the run game, but maybe they didn't have enough faith in Jamar Gibbs, man. I mean,
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jameer Gibbs, sorry. But and I don't know why. He had 11 carries for 68 yards, and he was averaging around 6.2 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Like
it just seems a little bit weird to me, because he was putting up some good numbers, but they weren't
Yeah.
running him as much. It seems like they were so behind that they were focusing on catching back up. And when you see teams playing catch up in the NFL, these quarterbacks are going to be throwing 50, 60 times because they're trying to catch up, and the running game is just going to burn the clock, and they're going to end up losing the game. But when you're getting stomped on that bad, you need to have the running game more involved. Even though you're burning some clock, you have to mix it up to get some of these guys open. If they're constantly running routes to catch balls, they're gonna be exhausted. And I mean, we saw it with Amar St. Brown. He looked exhausted out there after a little bit, because he looked like he was pushing in most of the work. Sam Laporta wasn't really doing much this
Nope.
game. So the offensive struggles, I don't know if it's because Montgomery's gone and they don't have enough faith in Gibbs, but it sure does look like that.
And I feel like they definitely need to change something up, man. Like I don't think Montgomery makes the team, right? I think they just need to have more faith in their running back, whoever that is. And I thought Gibbs was actually doing a decent job. And if they put a little bit more faith in him, maybe he actually can do a lot more. And on top of that, save your wide receivers from exhausting themselves, literally running routes the entire freaking game 53 times. It gets exhausting. It really does.
Yep. I mean, it looks like the Baltimore defense just knew it was going to be thrown the entire game. They just kept getting in the zone over and over again. And I mean, wow. Just complete, it looks like they went over the film with the Lions and the Bucks game. They went over the film and they just saw what their weaknesses was, and they attacked that.
I guess so, man.
Shut down the passing
Something.
game, you win the game.
Right. But I want to bring this up real quick before we also get into the next game. Baltimore now leads the AFC North. Cincinnati, are they in trouble?
I don't
Are they
believe
in
so.
trouble?
They just went they're 3-3 now, Sammy. I don't
Mhm.
I don't think it's safe to say that the Baltimore outright wins this because they're only 2 games behind and they had their bye.
Yeah.
Baltimore still has their bye, so technically if they win another game, they're 1 game behind. So they can still catch up. And I mean, this is too early in the
It
middle of the
doesn't. It
season
doesn't help
to
that
kind of say
Pittsburgh
that.
and Cleveland is also winning now. That's
Yeah,
not helping their case.
yeah, I agree.
So.
I agree.
Yeah. Hopefully. By the way, guys, Baltimore is leaving that season, leading the standings there with 5-2, and then for the NFC North, we got Detroit leading that, 5-2. With the second place right now is Minnesota Vikings, and we'll get into that game here later.
Yeah. Yes, we will.
But Justin, if you may go into the next game.
Sure. Well, we got the Browns and the Colts.
Yep, Browns and Colts.
All right, man. Well, Kareem Hunt,
What a fucking game.
Deshaun Watson
What
goes down to once again. Everyone, once again, everyone who's in fantasy, I just want you to know, you should probably think about dropping that guy. He's looking like AR, Anthony Richardson, just constantly leaving the game. They should have a tent on the sideline that says Deshaun Watson's tent, because every single time he gets injured, he just sits there and watches the game from afar, man. And guess what?
You know it's
they win again without Deshaun Watson, putting up 39 points, the most points that we've seen this week so far. Wow.
and it's not.
What
like
do you think,
it-
Sammy? What do you think about this game? Did you enjoy this game? Because I know I did.
Yeah, this game was awesome, man. It was a lot of action, a lot of back and forth. But I really want to bring something up real quick, because after what you were just talking about for Watson actually got interviewed, and he never answered a question about his shoulder with it potentially being hurt. So if he is still hurt, then why would you even play? You know what I mean? Like, why would you even play? PJ Walker isn't exactly like playing well.
Yeah.
You know, by far, I don't think he's playing well. But they still found a way to get the job done. So you still got to give it to them for at least getting the job done. And if there's a path, Justin, to getting Watson healthy, this team, mark my words, this team can become a threat.
Yes.
They
yes.
need to focus on getting him healthy.
I've been saying this,
don't know how
Sammy,
to stress this.
since the beginning of the season, man. This team has looked really good. They lost Nick Chubb, I get it. But they have other guys that know the system, and they get it done on the ground as well. They have good running game, good defense. We saw Myles Garrett go out there and force 2 sack fumbles, 1 recovery for a touchdown from his teammate, and then he blocks a field goal in the beginning.
Dude, he
prior
leaped
to him
over
doing
the
this.
offensive lineman. And by the way, this isn't flagged because he didn't touch the offensive lineman, right?
Yes.
So you can't get flagged for that.
He was clear.
So he jumped over and didn't draw the flag and literally blocked the field goal. Incredible.
So
fucking incredible.
we saw Gardner Minshew run for his life this game. And wow, I think if it wasn't for Myles Garrett, he probably would have never threw that interception. He was getting pressured on that. Although it was kind of a bad throw. Still though, like, insane defense, performance from Myles Garrett. Kudos to that guy. He literally put the team on his back. If it wasn't for those plays, they wouldn't have never won this one. PJ Walker did not look that great. Kareem Hunt got it done on the ground, though. And then
Kareem
Amari
Hunt
Cooper.
and Jerome Ford.
Now, if I was to tell you last week, Sammy, okay, you listening? If I was to tell you last week that Amari Cooper wouldn't get a touch until the 4th quarter, what would you say?
I would say you're blowing smoke. You're blowing smoke. I don't know what you're on, but like Amari Cooper, right? Should be that guy for the
He's their
Browns.
number 1 wide receiver. Why is there 39 points on the board for the Browns?
Yeah.
And he has 2 catches,
Yeah, I mean,
It,
most of their touchdowns, right, were in the running game.
yeah, I
If
mean,
not, if not like
we look
all
and
of
see the
them, I
games that they
believe.
won, right? Amari Cooper, high usage, they win using that guy. He gets a touchdown. They end up winning by 1, 2 scores, maybe like a field goal or whatnot, right? But he's
Hmm.
more involved in their offense. Now, this past game, they win without him. Is that just because of their defense that won in that game? Or do you think their offense was good enough to win that even though Amari
I
Cooper wasn't in
think
use?
I think the problem was with the Colts, and I will stress this enough. I mean, look at the amount of fumbles that the Colts had. They had a total of 4 fumbles. They lost 3 of them, right? They were able to recover one of them, but they had 4 fumbles. Like, they cannot be fumbling the ball like that. And Minshew, especially, he fumbled it 3 times, and he lost all 3. McKenzie fumbled once, but I was able to recover it. But Minshew fumbled 3 times, and fumbles are like one of the worst, right? We talk about that, right?
Yeah.
Fumbles are one of the worst things that you can do because you're going to give that opposite team even closer to your side of the field compared to throwing an interception, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like in my mind, sometimes it's one of the worst case scenarios. You don't want to fumble. Yeah, he fumbled 3 times. so let's get it like this. Minshew is not the guy. It's not the guy for
Yeah.
the Colts.
I mean,
so
we saw him do that shimmy dance in the end zone when he ran it in twice, both times doing the dance. And I was just
Dude.
like, okay, great. Let's see it again. Let's see it again. Let's see you win this game. And then, all those turnovers happen.
Mhm.
Even if you score touchdowns, you could score 4 touchdowns like Kirk Cousins, but you got 2 interceptions. You could still lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, Colts had 5 touchdowns. The Browns had surprisingly only 3, but they had so many fucking field goals it didn't even matter. Like, Jesus, how many fucking field goals did they have? Like,
Yeah.
wasn't
was a
it like
ton.
a crazy number?
Yeah, it was a ton of field goals.
Four,
this game.
okay, 4 field goals, and one was a long of 58. That's crazy, dude.
It's incredible.
That's just crazy. That's crazy, man. Like, that's a lot of field goals. But that's when I feel like the Browns are gonna be even stronger, right? If they freaking keep freaking Deshaun Watson healthy, this team can really really shine. Because
And I got
PJ
one
is not
more
the
thing
guy.
to talk about the Colts before we head into the next one, Sammy.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor gets more snaps this week. He
Yes.
splits 18 carries with Zach Moss on the week, gets a touchdown, finally is back. Do you see
Yes.
him taking even more snaps? It's 50-50 right now. Do you see it going 60-40, 70-30 anytime soon? And if you see that
Absolutely.
happening, when do you see that happening?
Absolutely. I believe this is going to be turning into a 60-40. I think they're going to keep it like this, especially if they keep Zach Moss on the roster. If they keep Zach Moss on the roster, I don't know why you would use at that point 70-30 or even 80-20 because Zach Moss is also still putting up the numbers, right? He didn't put up as much rushing yards as Jonathan Taylor this week, but like as you've been seeing, right, these past few freaking weeks that's already happened, he's definitely put up the numbers. He can. He's a really strong running back. And honestly, low key, I really hope they end up trading him away to the fucking Bucks. We need a fucking
Yes.
running back.
Please, football gods,
Bless
save us. Save our running game for the love of God.
But I believe it's going to be 60-40. I would say by like honestly, after this game, I would just start doing it next game because why not, man? Like Jonathan Taylor, he had 18 carries, same as Zach Moss, put up more yards and also got a touchdown. I mean, he is that guy. And I'm not going to lie, he still looks that good as he did 2 years ago. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see more, right? As the weeks go on, I want to see this performance as we keep going. But I believe that he's going to keep putting up like decent numbers throughout the year as long as he stays healthy, right? that's like with any running back though. But as long as he
All right.
stays healthy.
All right, let's get into the next one, Sammy. We got the Bills and the Patriots. This game was hilarious. I was drinking many beers,
Oh,
just chuckling,
oh,
kind of just
oh,
laughing at the Bills.
oh,
And
dude.
They are they the best team that looks like the worst team? Does that make sense? Are they the best team that looks like the one of the worst teams?
Honestly, we talked about this. We talked and preached about this last week, and it is showing more and more. Josh Allen needs more than Stephon Diggs to fucking get open. I'm tired of literally seeing him scramble the entire time trying to find somebody open, and it's, oh, who's open? Oh, it's only Stephon Diggs. It's literally only him, and at some point, they're just going to put 2 people on him. And then it's going to come down to the other wide receivers. If the other wide receivers can't do shit, what the hell's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be... I don't even think they take the division if they end up, like, going this route. Like, I feel like somebody needs to step up.
I'm in
Somebody
full
needs to step
agreement.
up.
Also, Tyler Bass missing a field goal.
Yeah. But we
no,
can't
it's
come
a-
down to field goals, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Can't
But
come down to field goals.
it is one
Yeah.
one tool that can be used as a game changer, you know, like a field goal. So he does miss that. If he makes that, I mean, it's a closer contest. But I mean, the Bills defense just couldn't hang on there at the end. What do you think was their problem?
Honestly, I mean, if I'm being strictly honest, I did not see that coming. Not at all.
I don't think anybody did.
I can't even talk about it because it's like so weird to think that the Buffalo Bills defense allowed Mac Jones
29 points.
That's all I have to say. But Mac, yeah,
A 1-5
just,
team to 20.
He completed 25 out of 30. He's looked the best he has all season.
Yeah.
And where has this Pats team been all this season? Honestly, like if they perform like this against a solid team like the Bills, shit. Like if they start performing like this rest of the year,
This
hell,
was
they
the
might,
performance that I was expecting in the beginning of the season, because like Bill Belichick, like I just thought like
Yeah.
they would still find a way to make the playoffs, or at least like become like a winning team. And I mean, like he's let Mac Jones know that he could take him out of the game whenever he wants, unless he performs. He performed this game. Josh Allen did not. And I
Yeah,
mean,
I
when
mean,
the ball
he-
is in Josh Allen's
he can only do
hands,
so much, right? He
when the
can
ball is
also
in
only do
Josh
so
Allen's
much.
hands, 75% of the time, Sammy, you still gotta blame the guy. I know
I
that the
understand.
teammates won't get open or whatnot, but I mean,
But
you,
it's hard.
you gotta
man.
find a way. You gotta find a way.
I-
You gotta
I get it.
get it together. I mean,
get it,
you
but
lose 2 straight now,
Yeah.
and kind
Yeah,
of an
and-
embarrassing fashion when everyone
this
thinks
is
you're gonna win.
embarrassing. This is mostly, honestly, I want to put this mostly on the defense here. Mac Jones was only pressured 20% against a bad Pats O-line. Only 20%. Only 20%. The offense is literally looking like they were asleep at the wheel until it's like, oh fuck, we need to do something. You know what I mean? Like that's what the offense looked like for the Bills. And the defense, it was just like, yeah, we're just not gonna pressure, fucking just let Matt Jones fucking throw whatever he wants, just fucking chuck him up. It's just, what are we doing? Like, put pressure on him all year. When he has pressure against him, look at his QBR ratings. They aren't that well. So whoever the defensive coordinator is needs to freaking get his head up his ass, because he literally costed this game. In my opinion, I think the defense coordinator costed this game. If he was calling those play calls, he costed it.
Yeah, I just don't like how the Bills just can't score until late. You know, so far this season, they just can't score in the first half. Besides the one game against the Dolphins, they just, when you see this offense, you would think in the past they've gotten touchdowns early, right? And then they just steamroll the rest of the game. They could play defensively, they could play easy zone because now the other team's playing catch up.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like that. It looks like the opposite now. They're the ones playing catch up the entire game. And
Yeah.
when they're playing catch
it
up,
was like
Josh Allen is
yeah.
forced to throw the ball to guess who? Stephon Diggs, because that's the only guy he can trust on their team right now.
Yeah. Now we also did see 8 receptions out of what is it, Kincaid? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah,
Dalton Kincaid.
Kincaid, yeah.
So he had 8 receptions for 75. So he picked it up. At least there was somebody else, right? But I mean, it's
Once again
it's
though,
crazy when you're
towards the
seeing
end.
Stephon Diggs literally breaking tackles to get touchdowns. This is the second game he's done this, man. This guy is insane. Like, incredible freaking player. If Josh Allen could have another incredible player like that, shit, man. This team could really become that team, right? That squad. But they honestly, they just need help. Diggs can't do it all, man. And they're just lacking right now. Weapons offensively.
It's not looking good for the Bills right now, like at all. The
they
culture around there, their winning culture around there just looks out of hope for this season. They don't look like, they did last year. Last year they looked amazing. They looked like a really solid team all the way up until the end there.
Right.
This year they're looking worse.
They're
Like,
just looking
significantly
inconsistent,
worse.
right? Like they've had some great games, right? Like especially against Miami, right? That great game, that potential. And that's the potential that they should have throughout the fucking year.
Yep.
But they're just being very, very, very inconsistent right now. And they just need to they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going on.
I want to ask you a question about the Patriots, Sammy.
Okay.
Do you know how the discussion of Bill Belichick getting fired or possibly stepping down, et cetera, et cetera? Okay, so that situation's been going on, and for you guys watching, if you didn't know, everyone's talking about Bill Belichick possibly getting fired for his job because of their winning culture. They're not winning, they're losing. Well,
this is the second season now.
He just beat the Bills for his 300th career win as a head coach for the Patriots. Incredible. Only, he's third right now, I believe. That's just an incredible number. 300 games won with one team.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Bill Belichick fan either, but I will give him, the applause when needed. He's done an incredible job. With the Patriots. I believe that this might be his last year. So I don't know if he goes another year. I mean, honestly, it would depend on how good New England end up looking, right? And if they make the playoffs. I think if they don't make the playoffs, I think he gets out. He retires.
For the Patriots to come out and perform like they did, it's all coaching, right?
Yeah.
You didn't change any players. It's all coaching. So big props to Bill Belichick and the Patriots team for actually getting it done. And I mean, they shocked the world. No one thought that the Patriots were going to beat the Bills.
Yep. And now the Buffalo Bills fall to 4-3, while Miami still sits on top even after the loss with 5-2. So yeah, the Bills really could have used that win because then they would have overtook first. Because remember that head-to-head between Buffalo and Miami, Buffalo won, so they would be right now first. But well, unfortunate circumstances. But
next game, Sammy.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Let's
talk about
break
it.
For him. Tough break. It happens, but we'll see what happens against the Bucs on a Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
right.
So we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons, guys. And by the way, I don't know why you mentioned the Bucks. You meant for the Bills, Justin. We're talking about the Atlanta Falcons
The Bucks
and
and
the
the
Tampa
Bills.
Bay Bucks. Wow. Uh, uh, we ended up losing 16-13, Justin. At home, at home, which really hurts my heart. Atlanta goes now to 2-0 for the division. This game was very hard to watch, man. Ritter fumbled the ball about 3 different times, and honestly, they were all like, I felt like within that 12-yard line. Like, it was insane, right? Like, the Bucks had so many chances like turn shit around because like Ritter wasn't playing that well. Like, he was playing okay.
I mean,
Outside of like he lost 3 balls, Justin. Yeah, I don't get it. He threw better, right? But you can't lose the ball 3 times like against a better team, which I'm not saying Tampa's bad, but we played like shit. So I will say we played bad. We were just a bad team. Like, that's I'm not afraid to admit that we were a bad team. But against a good team, you're not gonna win a football game losing 3 fumbles.
yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Yep. I mean, look at the takeaways, man. Like 2 takeaways literally in the end zone for touchbacks. 1 for a touchback, sorry, and then 1 fumble, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
1 fumble.
What the hell? How do we not win this game? I don't know. I'm mind blown, man. Like, our offense wasn't clicking. We were running constantly on first down. And then they're at the end of the game. This is what confused me the most. They're at the end of the game where we got a field goal and we were going for the touchdown, right? First down, we throw the ball. Second down, we throw the ball. Third down, we throw the ball, and then we kick a field goal. Dude, like, there's a minute left. Falcons have two timeouts. Why are we not running the ball there if we're going to go for a field goal anyways? Like, run the clock and we win. You run the clock, you get a field goal, we win. If by chance we run the ball, possibly we get lucky, we score a touchdown. Or we mix it up. We can have first down, throw the ball, and then the next 2 downs or 3 downs, run the ball. You know what I mean? Like run the clock, because the Falcons had 2 timeouts. We run the clock, we burn their timeouts. And then we have a chance. But instead we give the ball back, plenty of time, timeouts. And I mean, Kyle Pitts gets a nice grab for 20 some yards and they're in field goal range.
That was just wow. I will say this though, Winfield is looking like an all-star on the Bucks defense, man.
Yes.
He looks. I'm so happy.
He's playing out of his mind.
Please, Lord Jesus, please. I will think. Please just keep him on our squad for the rest of our dude. He is phenomenal. He is one of the best freaking safeties, and I'm so happy we have him. He's just incredible, and he can he's so flexible. He can be used in different places, right? I've seen him play like in different spots. So he's incredible. But here's the part I want to talk about. Falcons were inside the 12-yard line 3 different times, right? Didn't score any points. This is the NFC South. We are going to experience this for the next 10 weeks. Just 10 weeks. Bucks look so bad in the running game. Honestly, I don't even know what to do with myself at this point. We need help. Send reinforcements, please. Go
and trade for Derrick Henry.
Beg,
go and trade for Zach Moss. Please, get me a running back that can get some yards for the love of
Baker needs
God.
Help.
We
he
need
needs
to
help.
run the ball.
Baker threw 42 times, right? 27 completions, but he threw 42 times. Why the hell is he throwing 42 times?
Yep.
Why?
I just don't understand either. He's not Tom Brady. I don't want him throwing constantly. I want to bring in the run game. I need those numbers down to the 30 at least, and then be controlling the time and controlling the clock with the running game. We need to be doing that to be a winning team.
look at the difference in stat wise with the rushing. Atlanta. This is Atlanta. 38 rushes, 156 yards. This is combined, though, by the way, with 19 long. This is us. 20 carries, 73 yards, 3.7 average, 31 yards.
Absolutely terrible.
And that was by Baker Mayfield, by the way.
Yep. He had that huge
So
play at the
31
end of the game
yards of that 73 was by Baker Mayfield.
Yep, it's embarrassing to run the ball like that. It really is.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't think we had the worst offensive line to be running the ball, but honestly, like if nobody can run the ball besides Baker, it just seems like the running backs are the problem.
Yeah, you
I
think?
mean, I didn't have high hopes for Rachaad White this season. I really didn't.
I didn't understand why we let go. I didn't understand why we let go of yeah, I never understood that. I never understood that. I was like, okay, he had a bad year. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like he was like so bad where I was like, yeah, he needs to be off. I was like, he still can be that explosive fucking player.
I mean, we look at older running backs right now. I mean, Kareem Hunt just got added back on from free agency, and look what he's been able to do. So for the Browns,
right?
I mean, I don't understand it either, Sammy. So we have a decision to make. Deadline's coming up. Do we possibly make a trade happen for a running back? Because that, like, honestly,
what
is
kind
the
of
key.
trade we talking here? What kind of trade we talking here? Because honestly, this
I
is
don't
what
know
the Bucs are
details.
looking at.
I don't know
right?
the details, but do you think we can make a trade for a running back happen? Draft picks, etc. I'm sure we can get one of the two guys I listed for draft picks easily.
Right? The it's just the problem is when we do that though, right? We're also exposing our future.
Correct.
Whenever we're giving away our draft picks, so we're at that point we're really trying to like potentially like trying to make it to the Super Bowl. And honestly, I don't believe this team will.
Do you think we need to rebuild, or do you think Baker Mayfield somehow, some way we can end up being competitive and compete for a Super Bowl? I think we can.
I think we can. Honestly,
the reason why
he shouldn't be a lot of reasons why we could potentially depend on him still.
We have a really good defense. We have a really good defense. Sometimes they're worse. Sometimes they play about a mid-tier. But for the most part, this entire season, we've been a top 10 defense in the league. And look at all the forced turnovers. We should be winning these games. The reason why we're not, we can't run the ball. We're literally one of the worst teams on the ground this year. And it's embarrassing. It really is. This has been the struggle of all of our years, the past 10 years, I would say, like running the ball. Even the year we won the Super Bowl, like that was our issue. Then we had playoff Lenny come in and carry us on the ground. We let go of that guy. And now we have Rachaad White, who just can't run the ball and get free, break tackles. He's just the first guy that goes to tackle him.
The only place I saw him was in the receiving game with 6 receptions and he had 65 yards. I mean, but like he still needs to be a running back. At the end of the day, his job is a running back, right?
Yeah, we need to be on the ground.
We have receivers. We need somebody that is going to be ground and pound, getting through and slowing down, and tiring out that defensive line, really tiring them out. Because the more runs you do, it starts to tire them out, right? So, and then that gives Baker more time in the pocket and his receivers rest so they can actually run some decent routes.
Every team that's winning in the NFL right now, Sammy, do they have a good run game?
Yeah. Everyone.
There it is.
Eagles, Eagles are who they have. They have Swift. Who does Kansas have? Pacheco. It's just like every team that is doing well, they have a running back. San Francisco, they have Christian McCaffrey.
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
HN and Mostert.
Yeah. So it's just the list goes on, but like we need to establish a really good run game if we're going to even try at this point to win this division. I mean, I'm not gonna even say if we can make a
And
push
then
to the Super
on the
Bowl.
Falcons side, Ridley like looked terrible. If it wasn't for that Kyle Pitts, catch there at the end, I think they would have lost. And it
Who?
would've been because
Desmond Ritter? Are you talking about
Yes.
Ritter?
Yes.
Okay, you
Desmond
said
Ridder.
Ridley. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, Ritter.
There you
My bad. Yeah, the Falcons would have lost just solely on his performance. Lucky grab at the end, wide
Yep.
open, unfortunate, and then kick is good. So he got bailed out of that one because really
Like,
they should have lost
put
this game.
Getting steak.
But now
honestly, no.
they are the
let's
best
put
team
this,
in the
Let's
NFC
put this
South.
right. Hang on. Let's put this right. They should have beat us by a lot.
Oh yes,
They
2 touchdowns.
should have
at
beat
least.
us by a lot. Thank God. Thank God Desmond Ritter doesn't know how to hang on to the ball, because honestly, that's what like saved us from almost getting spanked.
Yep.
But
Defensively, they played better than they played better than they usually do.
mhm.
Offensively, they were getting down the field, and then they just turned it over towards the end of the end zone. But if they clean that up, they're a really good, solid team. And
Right.
that's why they're the best in the NFC South right now. Unfortunate to say, but, records don't lie. 4-3, Bucks are 3-3.
Yep. So, yeah, hopefully we can come back on this Thursday against Buffalo. And I mean, I know Buffalo's been having bad games, but they're at the end of the day, they're still fucking Buffalo.
Do you see us winning this game?
Not if we don't get our running game. Not if we don't have a running
With
game.
how bad the Buffalo's been performing, especially against, like let's say the
Oh.
Jags and now the Patriots.
Mhm.
Honestly, I haven't seen 20 points up for the Bucks since week 1 to week 2.
Yep.
And
I need
that's
to.
what it's gonna take.
yeah.
Over 20 points to beat the Bills.
Oh, 100%. And like I said, I've already said this though. This is why Baker needs help. He needs help with the running game, so we can
I don't
free
really
him
blame.
up.
I don't really blame Baker as much. I mean, there's
No.
a couple plays where I feel like he really did miss, like, on an opportunity to get a touchdown. I like sometimes I just felt like he just held the ball way too long and didn't get it out. And
Yeah,
trust-
he was
trust
definitely
some of
holding the ball.
receivers.
This is one of the things that we've already talked about, right? Like he's just holding the ball way too long, and it's because our guys. I don't know what's going on. It's like I don't know if he just doesn't trust the route or what, but like I feel like he's letting the route finish up, and then he's like, oh shit, like I don't know what to do. And he just keeps looking, and he still can't find anybody, and then he'll either take a sack or he will throw it out of bounds, right? So
All right, so the Bucks, we got some unanswered questions coming up. We really need to go on the practice field and practice hard offensively. Just get it going. We have a good defense. Play against the defense. Run the ball. Let's get some ground game in. Let's save Baker some time and get pressure removed from him so he can throw the ball with confidence and get the ball released out in time. All right, but we're running low on time, so let's get through the next game.
I'll allow you to start it off.
All right,
What
we
is
got
it?
the two terrible teams in the NFL right now, the Packers and the Broncos.
The two terrible teams. I like how Green Bay
I
is
have
somehow part
one
of that
comment.
conversation. It's
I have one comment for the Packers. Free my man Aaron Jones. Free him. Seriously, like 39% of snaps. Are you kidding me? Like
AJ Dillon is getting majority of them.
he has missed like 6 games. One game he played and he was only playing like 5%, like limited snap count, right? So
Yep.
he was barely even there for that game, and he played well. This game, he plays well. He's doing good. But yet, 39% of snaps, it just doesn't make sense to me. I think they're trying to slowly get him back into the offense, and it's not gonna work.
Understandable,
It's not gonna work for them
but
because they're now 2-4. Like, do they have a chance to even be like a winning team now? Like, a lot of people say that this Packers team only going to get 5 wins this year. I mean, this is just embarrassing. This is against the Broncos.
mhm.
Like, we're talking about another team, sure. Like, against the Raiders, you know, how they lost. Fine, I'll take that. But against the Broncos, who give up literally the most points to receivers, to running backs, everything. Okay, like, how do you get up 17 points and just not more? How does Christian Watson not get involved more? How does
I
Aaron
mean,
Jones not get involved more? I just don't understand this offense. I don't understand Matt LaFleur right now, and their defense was suspect as well.
dude, this is another one of those where it's like another Falcons and Bucks right now, man. Like, dude, it's just
Just a
this
tight
is
game
what we're
that
gonna experience for the
no
next 10
offense.
weeks. This is what we're gonna experience for the next 10 weeks, you know, with these teams. I And it's crazy to think, right? Because Jordan Love was showing so much potential, like
Early
early games, and we talked about that, Justin. Early games, Jordan Love was showing so much potential. I was like, damn, man,
I was
this
like,
this
wow,
kid
like,
actually could
he
be
could
that
be the
guy.
next. He can be the next Aaron Rodgers coming
Right,
up.
he could be that guy, and then all of
The
a
last 3
sudden,
games.
it's like, yep, just flat-footed, man, just flat-footed. You know, he could. And by the way, Jordan Love could have been the hero, right? With only 2 points down, but you know what he did?
He could have
He
been
threw
the
a
hero.
duck. He threw a duck.
He could have been the hero of the
Threw a
past
duck.
2 games, Sammy. What did he do? Throw interception.
Throw a duck. Like, it's just Jordan Love is like hard to watch right now. Watching him play with the potential you know he is capable for, and it's just it just puts you on edge. And then on Denver's side, you have to feel a little bit better, but honestly, it felt like the Packers was just sleepwalking the first 3 quarters. They were just like fucking zombies out there, man. I didn't feel like it wasn't.
I really had highest expectations for the Packers. I thought Aaron Jones was gonna be, you know, the guy that like gets them 100 and some yards on the ground and gets involved in the passing game a little bit more in the screen passing, etc. I thought Christian Watson was that deep ball threat. Jordan Love, he loves to sling it. I thought like this team offensively would be one of the best in the NFL. Because if, let's say Aaron Rodgers was in this position, this isn't a complete different team. This is a 5-2 team. This is a 4-3 team. You know, still winning because they're not giving takeaways. When you have takeaways, you have L's.
Yep.
Jordan Love just needs to stop throwing picks. He's getting a little too happy. Trusting his teammates a lot. They're still like, you know, we have Christian Watson a little bit banged up still. Romeo Dobbs and Jordan Reed just like rookies. You know, like
that chemistry.
Yes, give them a chance, but you know, don't throw a Hail Mary ball and expect, you know, these guys to catch it every single time.
Go get it.
Yes. And I mean, some of them were super inaccurate, man. I'm just saying, like, they were just really inaccurate. It just didn't look like a good throw at all. And man, I've seen it against the Raiders, and now I get to see it against the Broncos. I just really had better expectations for the Packers as a group against the Broncos, and it's unfortunate. They're 2-4. They don't look great. The Broncos looking better, but this one's just tough, man, to talk about. It's just a depressing game.
This is another Falcons-Bucks game, man. It's just depressing. Honestly, I'd rather just move on.
I agree.
like, let's just move on. All right. Real quick, guys. So just a brief overview. Detroit leads the NFC North 5-2. Green Bay now falls 2-4, which they are second to last right now. Right above Chicago, who is 2-5. And then for the AFC West, Denver is in last place still, but they are 2-5 now. Now they got 2 wins. Yay! All right, on to the next game though. Miami Dolphins at the Philadelphia Eagles, as the Miami Dolphins lost 17-31. What's your thoughts, Justin? What's your thoughts?
I thought this was gonna be a way closer game. Just like the Dolphins just had the gas going early with the Eagles. Everyone was like, "Wow, like this is gonna be a high scoring game." Like kind of like the the Chiefs and the Chargers game. How everyone expected that game to be super high, but they ended
I
up the
didn't feel like it was
same
gonna be
way.
too crazy.
They ended up the same way. Just like one team was stepping on the gas the whole way through, the other team just let off of it halfway through. The Dolphins score 17 points in the first half. Then in the second half, they were completely shut out.
Mhm.
What do you think happened, Sammy? Do you think the Eagles, like the coach, just like talked defense schemes on how to stop the run, how to stop Tua? What do you think happened there in halftime? Because really, that's the story of the game.
I mean, I'll just put it like this. I mean, the Eagles just used a strong second half to take the win. That's what they did. They literally have that clutch factor right now, and I can't name the exact person off the top of my head. Defensively, I believe it was I know Reddick. Reddick was definitely a part of that, but I think it was Edmonds. I think Edmonds was actually doing pretty decent that game. So honestly, defensively, I did not see this game being crazy high because I thought Miami Dolphins have a pretty strong defense and the Eagles have a very strong defense. So I was like, I mean, this could go either way. I mean, Miami also has a very, very strong offense, but I also thought like, like with Darius Slay, right, who's one of the cornerbacks, he can keep up. He can keep up with a lot of these quick guys like Tyreek Hill or Jalen Water, who's like like pretty taller guy. So like they were doing their job, man. It was just simple. They were just defensively doing their job. They were holding them. They weren't allowing them to get those first downs. And this is, by the way, I'm gonna just bring up the stat real quick. If they can, so I'm talking about Miami, by the way. If they can be the best, so the big comps is, can the Dolphins be the best offense this year, Justin? And if they can be, which I think they can be, they need to do more than only get 12 first downs and only 240 yards. Like if they want to be, right, the best offense probably in the NFL and then be declared that, they need to do more than only get 12 first downs. And I understand you're going to go up against the Eagles, right? Eagles defense, they're probably going to be championship Super Bowl contenders easily. But you need to cement that into great teams. This is 2 big losses they've had against great teams. Now, Buffalo Bills, good teams, good team. We'll get on that. We already talked about that. But for those 2 losses, man, I mean, if you look at the teams they versed and the teams they went off on, it's not showing much, is it, Justin?
Nope. I mean, the Dolphins' offensive struggles continue, really.
And the
They
Dolphin
just
fans are
haven't
gonna.
they haven't showed us the same Dolphins team of the first couple weeks. It looks like they're stumbling, and the running game was shut down. Required Tyreek Hill to do most of the load. Jalen Waddle.
I mean, Mostert
couple
still.
catches, but that's about
Mostert
it.
did decent. Mostert did decent, right? He had 9 carries for
Yeah,
45 yards. So
when
he
I
was
say-
averaging
when-
5 yards per
When
carry.
I say shut down, I mean like
They couldn't
we
hand it
expect
off.
more from
They
the
couldn't-
Dolphins
They couldn't
running
even
game.
hand it off though. How can you hand it off when literally you're down? You're down by like what? Like I'm pretty sure they were down by 7. Were they down by 7 at the half, Justin? So they were down by 7. So they're already down. And then the Eagles score again. Miami comes back, score again. Fourth quarter comes. Eagles score again. And then like I said, they were on the back foot the entire time. They were just on the back foot. And that's what it felt like. They were just on the back foot. And the Dolphins fans are going to put it like this, right? Especially for their offense not going. They're going to say, oh, they're going to point out, oh, we are missing Armstead. We don't have Armstead. You know, like, you know, they're one of their big O-liners that holds everything, right? One of their freaking whatever. I'm going to tell you right now, this is the NFL. You're going to have missing pieces. That's going to happen. It's how you handle those missing pieces makes a great team. Am I wrong?
No.
And so, like, that's the biggest takeaway, honestly. Like, the Dolphins need to show me more if they want to be back on top where they were. Because as of right now,
I still think the Dolphins are better than the Bills. I still think they're better than the Bills.
We will see. We will see.
I
we
still
will
think
see
they're
it
better than the Bills.
once they verse each other again. I
And
know
then-
what you're saying. I hear you, but we'll see when they play each other again because,
And then,
like I said, the Dolphins got wiped by the Bills.
the Eagles, man, just They just-
got a better team.
like
just look like the
Jalen
better team.
Hurts fumbles in the first half. You know, the Dolphins recover. I would expect them to score off of that, and then they didn't.
Nope.
It's just very confusing to see like the offense from the Dolphins like constantly getting shut down. Like they have so many options to like get yards, get first downs, get down the field. So it really confused me. But for the Eagles, I mean, well played. Well played. Like they're the best team in football right now. Can't-
Best team in the NFC right now.
Correct.
Best team in the NFC. I'm not
correct.
gonna say. I'm not gonna say
I mean,
like AFC.
Sammy,
too.
do you think this is a repeat from last year? Do we get to see the Eagles versus the Chiefs again?
I believe it. I believe we could. I easily believe we could. And we'll get into the next game right when it's with San Fran talk, but because I definitely want to talk about that.
Let's go ahead and get into that.
Yeah,
I'm
do you,
pretty much I'm pretty much done with the Dolphins and the Eagles. Both really good teams. Just
yeah.
Dolphins fell apart and after the half. That's about it.
Yep. I want it. And last two quick notes, and you've already answered one of them, Justin. But the Dolphins, just a quick stat, real quick. Dolphins had -8 rushing yards after the first quarter. -8.
Like I said, man, like the Eagles kept scoring, and then every single time they got the running game involved, like just couldn't get it together, and then they just ended up throwing for the rest of the game. And
Yeah.
I mean, when you throw against a team for the rest of the game and playing catch up, like every team this week that was playing catch up, they pretty much lost. Besides the Patriots.
And you've already
Besides
answered
the
this
Patriots.
question. And you've already answered this question, Justin, but I'll ask this again. Who's looking the favorite in this division with Miami after the Bills took that big loss?
The Dolphins.
You
I
still
mean-
think the Dolphins?
The Dolphins, you know, put up against the Eagles. They lost, but the
Oh.
Bills lost to the Patriots.
Yeah.
The Eagles are not
I-
the
I-
Patriots.
Well, you
Ser-
know what?
you know what I mean?
I know. I know.
Their
that's
Eagles
what
are
you
not
mean,
the
man.
Patriots. So
and you know what sucks? You know what sucks? I really want to root for the freaking Bills, man, but I can't because
I'm
they're
tired of
going
it.
against my
I-
team.
I'm
They're
tired
going
of it.
against my team,
They
and I'm
just-
sorry. I'm not
they
gonna.
let me
root against
down
my
every
team.
season. I've become exhausted of rooting for the Bills.
Yeah, it sounds like you're. It sounds like you're like.
Yeah, I've become exhausted just watching these games unfold, man.
sound
just
like Stephen A.
exhausting me.
Smith with the Cowboys. How about them Bills? So, Cowboys,
Yes,
how about
that-
them
that's
Bills?
me.
But
right,
yeah, let's
so
go ahead and hop
get
into
into
the
the
next,
next one.
game, Justin. So we got San Fran at the Minnesota Vikings on a Monday night. And wow, did that take us on another curveball. Holy shit. San Fran ended up losing this 17-22. Justin, break this down for us. Just break this down.
Cam Akers played well. He played well. Madison, same thing, pretty well. Addison, the rookie Addison goes
guy.
off.
That guy.
Two touchdowns in the first half. Wow. What a dominating performance from the rookie wide receiver for the Vikings.
I thought he almost had
never
three. He almost had the 1, 2, 3. He almost had
Yeah,
the third.
he barely missed that.
He-
Close
he
one.
got pass interference on
Yeah.
because he got shoved.
I
But,
didn't like how the Vikings. It felt like the refs were on their side. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like some of the calls were like very debatable. I was like, it just seems like it's favored for the Vikings this game. A little bit too much.
almost like it's scripted.
I don't know, but the way the 49ers played in the first half, I thought this is going to be a high scoring game. Like they're showing up too. Like they're getting the ball down the field. They're scoring. Christian McCaffrey was shut out this game. Besides you take away those 2 touchdowns that he had.
Yeah, I mean,
What did he do?
He had 15 carries for only 45 yards. This is, by the way, guys, very unheard of from Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, and he had a fumble.
And he had a fumble in the beginning of their first drive. Their first drive going towards they were like at the 20-yard line. I think he fumbled.
Yep. This game really confused me. I just didn't understand how the 49ers lost this in my eyes, especially with Justin Jefferson out of the game. I just didn't understand why the 49ers lost this game, and they're not looking like the best football team in the NFL anymore.
The receivers on Minnesota have stepped up. I mean, you got Jordan Addison, right? 7 receptions, 123 yards. I'm listing some stats here, guys, for you. 2 touchdowns and 60 long. We also had T.J. Hawkinson, who had 11 receptions, 86 yards, and also averaged 7.8. And then you also had Powell, and I believe Powell is Powell? No, he's a receiver. So you also have Powell. He had 16. He was averaging 16 yards with 64 total yards and 27 long. So they were doing their job, man. Like he was sharing the ball. He even got it to Osborne a couple times. He was sharing the ball like Kirk Cousins on 3rd down, man. Holy crap. How many times was like 30-10, 30-12 and like he got out of it. I was like, what the hell? Without Justin Jefferson?
I was very confused.
Where's this guy?
Because
who the hell is this guy? Is he going back to last year? I'm sorry. Like this is confusing the hell out of me.
Yeah. The Vikings showed up. They impressed me. I didn't see this coming at all.
No.
Kirk Cousins, primetime, everyone knows, his record. Everyone knows how he performs on primetime. But he shows us, besides that first couple drives where he threw that interception, was that his fault? He threw it behind him, and then, we saw that happen. Ward got the better of him, and then later on that game,
and that was
Addison
like more like a steal. It looked
Ward.
like a steal because it looked like it was actually in Addison's hands or like in his arms. It looked like he kind of ripped it out.
The same 2 players. What's weird to me, the same 2 players had that same exact play happen to him twice. Ward got the better of Addison one time, stripped and recovered it.
After that,
Then the second time, Addison got the better of Ward and stripped it from him for a touchdown.
for a touchdown.
So
He literally he
Yeah.
should have did the piece. I wish he did the piece.
Yep. Well, I think you get fined for that.
You
now.
do, yeah.
You get fined for taunting. Yeah.
Yep, it's a go ahead, Justin. I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, Brock Purdy now loses 2 in a row. Remember, prior to these 2 losses, he has yet to lose a regular season game. Now he loses 2 in a row, throwing 2 picks in 2 games. Do you think the pressure is getting to him to perform? Do you think he's really good in the early games, the 1:00, 4:20 games, the Sunday night games, but the Monday night games where everyone's attention is on them? Do you think I don't know how to really explain this. Do you think the lights are too bright for Brock Purdy?
I think when it comes to being that clutch factor, he's still not there. This is the first time he's ever been down, right? He's ever been down by like, I don't know, what was it, like 5 points, whatever. And had to literally not just get a field goal range, but had to go all the way down to the other side and get a touchdown. You know, be that guy that San Fran put that faith in. Be that guy. Be that leader that you know that they needed. And unfortunately, he was unable to get that done. By the way, this is I have a couple stats, a little more stats. This is 15. So after 15 straight games of winning, this is the first time in Purdy's career with multiple turnovers. He's had 3 turnovers in the past 2 games, and 2 of them were tonight, and they were both INTs. Have you lost confidence in Purdy, Justin? And
honestly, I think these last 2 games were a wake up call for him. I think they still have their bye. I think they find a way to still get it done. Debo comes back. This team could still put points on the board without takeaways. So if Brock Purdy just eliminates those bad throws, they win this game. I mean, Jake Mooney, yes, he missed a field goal early. Yes, he missed the game winner the last week. But you can't rely on your kicker to win a game. You got to rely on scoring touchdowns.
Yep.
And when you have a guy like Christian McCaffrey and he gets shut down like that, that's a lot of pressure on Brock Purdy to make really good throws, which he did, by the way, that game. Which he did. He was making some great throws. Some throws that, like, I was very surprised by. I was like, nobody else in the league is really making these throws.
Yeah, I think he's very good with route throws, right?
Yeah.
Throwing these routes.
Anticipating the receiver getting open and timing it correctly. But the problem with that, when you have that,
you have
that
to be on the
timing,
same page.
If you're not on the same page in some certain routes, it's an interception. And we saw that last interception of the game, man. Just threw it down the middle of the field.
It's what was both of his interceptions?
Middle of the field.
Right? You need to be very aware and have to be on the same page as your receiver. Have to be. If you're going to throw it down the middle, you have to be on the same page, or he better be wide open, because there will be times when he's going to be behind these defenders, right? When they're coming at him, this defensive line, and some of these guys are huge, right? You think he's seen over them sometimes? Like, I believe he can see like a decent bit, but they got their hands up and everything. You don't think that they could be blocking some of their like defenders they have back there that are literally just watching his every move and just waiting to pounce as soon as he throws? You know what I mean? That's what those safeties are there for too. They're just waiting.
Yeah.
They're just sitting waiting.
Dude, honestly, without those takeaways, when you look at his stats, he's 21 of 30. Not too bad for missing Deebo Samuel. But those numbers need to be up a little bit more. 272 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Without those interceptions, they win the game. Right?
Yep.
And what happens last game? Without that interception, they win the game. Because then they don't have to rely on getting a field goal to tie the game or win the game. They would have won the game by getting a touchdown. So these losses are on Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy.
Yep. I have one more fun fact real quick for everyone, and I bet you guys didn't know this, but since 2017, Kyle Shanahan is 0 for 29 when down by 5 points in the fourth quarter. Did you know that? 0 for 29.
That's an interesting stat. I've never heard about that. Wow.
0 for 29 when down by 5 in the fourth quarter.
So
Isn't that amazing?
He knows how to keep a lead and win the game, but he doesn't know how to win from behind.
Come back. Yep. Exactly. And that is scary. Because you think playoffs, you don't think these teams are going to be playing even harder in playoffs. Yeah. You got another thing coming. And especially against the Eagles, if they come up against them, which they probably will again. Yeah. I think they meet in the NFC Championship. But I think if the Eagles get ahead I think the Eagles are going to end up winning it. It's unfortunate, but I unless it's a script or whatever, I don't know. But that's an insane stat line. Like when I heard that, I was like, bro, I gotta write this shit down. This is insane. Like I have not heard that before. But yeah, over 29 went down by 5 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
What? So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Justin, you want to see more out of the San Fran, man, especially losing to the Vikings. That was a bad loss. That's a bad loss for them.
I just thought San Francisco was better than this, what they're displaying, and now they're 5-2.
Yep. And
second best, obviously, in the NFC.
And you know who they go up against next? Arrested Bengals. And you know what you said. This is the time when the Bengals start waking up.
That's what I'm saying,
This
man.
could be 3 L's in a row, potentially. This would be terrible.
If the 49ers lose 3 in a row, we're looking at a team that doesn't have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl, man. I'm just saying, like, if they lose 3 in a row,
I think they still have a chance. It's just
if they lose 3 in a row, man,
they're hurting themselves. They're shooting themselves in the foot.
I don't know because they still have a tough schedule coming up, and remember, like if they get on,
and they still go against the Eagles. They still go against the Eagles in December.
Yeah, who's to say that they don't keep up the losing streak, man? A lot of people are calling them frauds right now. I don't know. I don't have a take on that, but it's a lot of speculation going on with the 49ers.
Yeah.
A lot of speculation, and I don't know if I can blame people for speculating like that.
No. You can't, man. I mean, like I said, you got the Bengals next. And then literally 4 games after that, you got the Eagles in December. So, and then Baltimore's waking up, and then you got Baltimore 3 games after that. So it's like, I don't know, man. This could be really bad for the 49ers after that loss. I mean, it doesn't look that bad right now, but it could definitely start being bad. So hopefully they pick it back up. Their next game is against the Jags. Against the Bengals. So hopefully they can win against the Bengals. If they can beat the Bengals and then go into the Jags, Bucks, Seattle, and win those games, okay. I feel like they're back on pace. Maybe they just need to shake it off, whatever they have. But if they lose against the Bengals and they lose against like the Jags or the Bucks or the Seahawks before they even meet the Eagles, we're gonna have a talk. We're gonna have a talk because at that point, they're not considered the best team in the NFL. They're just not.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Let's get into our closing game, Sammy.
Yep. All right. So here we go, guys. Here we go. All right. So we're getting into this. We call this. What do we call it, Justin? What do we call it? I want you to say it. What do we call this? What do we call this segment?
That's on you. That's on you.
You don't remember what I called this segment?
Nope. I just go off spitting, man. Spitting facts.
All right. I call this rapid fire, guys.
Oh,
rapid fire. Yeah, we go through these games that we haven't hit, and we'll hit every single team. So you guys, at least we hit your team if we haven't talked about it in depth, but we'll at least hit them. All right, so Thursday night game, Justin. We'll start it off now. Jags and at the Saints, with the Jags ended up coming out on top, 31-24. What's your thoughts against that?
Travis Etienne does it again. That's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. Michael Thomas is looking solid. Solid wide receiver for the Saints. Chris Olave, where was the guy? And Shaheed?
He's in handcuffs right now.
Yes. For you guys that don't know, driving reckless, 75 miles per hour in a 30.
In a 30. 30. Yeah.
So he was arrested. No suspensions or anything like that, so you don't have to worry if you're a Saints fan.
As far as we know, we like I said, this just happened yesterday, so we will find out more news when we find out. And yeah,
can we talk about how the Saints just toss the ball to Kamara every play.
I mean, this is all you, Justin. This is rapid fire. Let's talk about it. So let's go ahead.
Kamara has so much like impact on this game. Like the ball is constantly going to Kamara, nobody else. Michael Thomas getting a couple touches, Chris Olave maybe 1-2 touches. The ball is going to Kamara like every single play. Like this guy has been, his usage numbers are way up, and it's good for fantasy, but it's bad for their team. And it really does say something with their offense. So a lot of question marks there. The Jags look great. ETN looking good. Trevor Lawrence looking good. Calvin Ridley, a no-show. Christian Kirk, wide receiver number 1, question mark. That's all I got for that one, Sammy.
All right. Time. Actually, that was perfect. Time's up. All right. On to the next game. We got the Raiders at the Bears, with the Bears coming out on top 30-12. Thoughts? And this is without Justin Fields.
You got 2 backup quarterbacks going against each other. You got Brian Hoyer from the Bears, and you got O'Connell for the Raiders. Jimmy G's out. Justin Fields are out. Both injuries. So, honestly, this game wasn't really, like, everyone was looking at this game like, it's going to be pretty boring of a game. Boy, was I wrong. 30 points out of the Bears. Devontae Foreman, holy moly, dude. 3 touchdowns. What a
carries,
beast.
89, 2 touchdowns.
What a beast, man. And, wow. Did Brian Hoyer perform? Wow. I mean, it's embarrassing, man. He has less wide receiver depth than Aiden O'Connell and the Raiders. Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. Really? Josh Jacobs. Really? Where the hell was this offense, and why does Jimmy G have to be the quarterback in order for this offense to get rolling? Just unanswered questions there. I don't know what's going on with the Raiders. I don't know if the coach deserves to be fired. I don't know if he deserves to stay there. But as it's looking right now, Devontae Adams doesn't want to play for your team.
Time.
All right, on to the next one.
All right, let's go. All right, we got the Washington Commanders at the New York Giants, with the Giants coming out on top 14-7. Thoughts? Very low scoring game.
One word. Darren Waller. He finally has given hope for the Giants. He's finally catching balls, man. Finally making plays down the field. Saquon Barkley getting it done as well. Like, those two look like really good offensive threats, man. And Tyrod Taylor is leading this offense, and they look better than ever.
Yeah,
Tyrod Taylor, these last 2 games, has looked better than Daniel Jones in New York for his entire career. I swear. There's a couple games where Daniel Jones, like, yes, he runs the ball. He gets down the field. Yes, he'll score a touchdown. Sure. Whatever. He'll make a big play. Sometimes he'll get 30-some points. But who's more consistent in the quarterback position? Daniel Jones or Tyrod Taylor? So far, what we've seen, Tyrod Taylor. He can get you a win, and your team looks better offensively.
And that is time. All right. On to the next one. We got the Steelers at the Rams, with the Steelers coming out on top 24-17.
TJ Watt's a beast, man. He really is a beast. Puka Nacua, he did some plays. Cooper Kupp, irrelevant.
Crazy, right?
Kind of a no-show this game.
I mean, Puka did have over 150 yards.
And how about that catch on the sideline? Oh, disgusting, man. When I saw that catch, bro, I was like, there's no way he knew where he was, man. There is no way with that back shoulder catch that he knew where he was. Got that foot down. Wow, what a catch from Puka Nacua. Great job from the Rams, but they couldn't get it done against the Steelers, who have just this beast, TJ Watt, who shows you Not today. Catches the interception. Almost goes for the touchdown, man. Love to see it. He ignites this team. This team is TJ Watt. Not counting, Pickens, Pickett. Harris is irrelevant. I'm just going to say it. Their running game's not that great. But Pickens and TJ Watt, you got two good players. Keep those guys, man. Those guys are great. Love to see it.
And that is time. All right, on to the next one. We got the Cardinals at the Seahawks with the Seattle point away, 20-10. What's your thoughts?
What's the status on Kyler Murray right now?
Kyler Murray is supposed to be returning.
Before you finish.
Okay.
The reason why I'm saying this to you guys, and I'm asking Sammy, I hate Dobbs. He sucks. He really does. You guys say that he's good because he can run the ball, but that's all he can do. He can't throw the ball. Look and see what he did. He can't throw the ball. They got Marquise Brown, and somehow he's irrelevant this game. They got Zach Ertz. Somehow he's irrelevant this game. I just don't understand. Their concept is on the ground. And then for Seattle, kudos to them. Geno Smith finally bouncing back, getting a game. They're 4-2 now. They look okay. Low seed playoff team.
And that is time. All right. And this is outside the time, guys. I'm just going to speak about this because he asked about it. So Murray's may not be reinstated from the PUP list until the Cardinals' Week 10 game against the Falcons. But he did take his first reps during the practice this week. And the Cardinals do plan to build around him. So, and this was reported by Jay Glazer from Fox NFL Sunday. So this is official news. So we'll definitely see, but from what is being talked, it sounds like they want him to be returned week 10 against the Falcons.
I just don't understand that way of thinking when they're 1-6. Do they really think Kyler Murray can?
Well, they could have activated him now.
Yeah, but do you really think Kyler Murray?
Activate him now, but
yeah,
there's
but
no point.
Sammy, let's put Kyler Murray back into this offense, right? Do you think he's a better passer
Than Dobbs?
than Dobbs?
Yes.
Do you think he's a better runner?
Yes.
How many games do you see won with Dobbs, and how many games do you see won with Kyler Murray?
Jesus. I would have to I'd have to pull up their schedule to see.
I'm just saying.
This is
just throwing it out there.
Okay. Just throwing it out there, just straight up.
Yeah.
I think
Based on
what
we've
record
seen.
wise, like what they would be with Kyler Murray right now.
Yeah.
I think they would be. I think they'd be a 4-3 right now, maybe 5-2, maybe.
Okay, so
because they haven't had too many tough games.
I don't know if you guys.
I think they would have beat the Rams. I think they would have beat Seattle. I think they would have beat Giants, and I think they would have beat Washington.
Because
those are the games I think they would have won.
I don't know if they roll with Kyler Murray, man. Like, they have a chance to just tank for the rest of the year and go and get Chase Young.
Yeah.
A great draft pick. Get a quarterback that can maybe play number 2 behind Kyler Murray. I just don't understand why they.
I would not. I wouldn't.
It's a huge chance on Kyler Murray right now. I just don't.
Nope.
I don't know if I've seen enough out of him to really say that he's the guy that they need to build around. I really don't.
I still think he could be that guy. He definitely could be. Okay. So it's definitely a big possibility. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. All right.
And last one.
On to the last one. We got the Chargers at the Chiefs, with the Chiefs coming out on top, 31-17.
Similar to the Dolphins and the Eagles, how they both have really good offensive teams. The Chargers and the Chiefs. Obviously we're thinking about those two teams offensively, but how about the Chiefs defensively? Wow,
they stepped up.
like stepping up completely, like number 5 defense in the league right now. This team,
they're keeping it a tight game though.
Yeah,
sure.
It was
24-17.
Sure, but
only
this
by a touchdown at their first half. And that was first half.
This team is looking
action packed.
to stop Justin Herbert from scoring over 20 points is incredible. Like, great job. You know, they still have Keenan Allen there. They still have Eckler. They left 17 points on the board, and they didn't get more than that because of the Chiefs' defense. Let's give them credit where the credit's due. And then for their offense, for the Chiefs, National Tight Ends Day. Who else was going to go to? Travis Kelce. Down the field, like, how much yards, Sammy? Like, catch me up on the stats here. I think it was around 170 some yards.
179 yards and a touchdown with 12 receptions.
Incredible.
Patrick Mahomes with 424 yards.
A one-man wrecking crew, that guy, man. He finally showed up. Everyone was waiting for this to happen. There it is. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce duo. And that's just really it. That's the show. Justin Herbert just couldn't get it done against the Chiefs defense. And I guess we got to be giving more credit to the Chiefs defense than we do right now.
Yeah. They definitely held the Chargers to 17 points. I mean, the first half, they were kind of not too
I have a question for you, Sammy. Now that the Chiefs beat the Chargers, right? Same division. Do the Chargers even stand a smidge of a chance to catching up to the Chiefs when they look like offensively and defensively they're getting it rolling? 6-1 team.
Do the Chargers stand up to the Chiefs?
Yeah, like,
no.
Do you think they have playoff hopes at all?
No. Nope. I did have hopes in them, but I mean, after that performance, man, I mean, it's still not over for them. If I look up their games right now, their losses were against the Dolphins, the Titans, the Cowboys, and the Chiefs. So all really great teams, minus the Titans, but they only did lose by 30 points, which that was a hard loss. But they still got they got a tough schedule, man. Like, you know, like minus these next two games they got after that, they got the Lions, they got the Packers, the Ravens. Then they still have the Bills, and they still have the Chiefs. So it's going to be a tough battle for them.
All right.
This is
and
gonna be a
that
tough season.
concludes Week 7 recap with the Santos Show. We're your hosts, Justin and Sammy. Sammy, you have the honors. Let's close it out here.
All right. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. If you guys haven't, please hit that subscribe button. Follow us. Make sure you guys join our podcast. We did start a little late, like 30 minutes late. I had things I had to take care of. Justin was ready. I will give him that. He was ready. I had things I had to take care of, so I do apologize for that. But I appreciate you guys so much. We both appreciate you guys so much. If you guys are tuning in and watching our podcast, even if you guys aren't watching it live, we've been watching watching the views go up. But yeah, please leave us some comments. You know, if you guys have any comments or maybe some concerns about anything that's going on that maybe we didn't touch base on, please let us know. And you know, we'll definitely respond back and give you guys hopefully an answer as best that we can.
Yeah,
so,
we want to hear all of your guys' comments, all of you guys' laughs, jokes, everything. You know, put it in the comment. Let us know how we're doing. Tell us if we have a dumb take, and we'll debate about it in the chat box with you guys. Yeah. You know, we love to talk smack. That's what the Brothers Channel Santos Show is about. We love to talk smack about teams. Don't take it too serious. Take it like a grain of salt.
Don't take it personal.
But we're evaluating teams based on how they perform each week. So if we see a team not perform too well, we're gonna let them know about it.
Yep, we're gonna
tell you how we feel about the game, and that's just what the show is about.
Yep.
So we love to see you guys.
You heard
week
us
8.
call out our own team, the Bucks. We were calling out them, you know, like how bad we were performing. So we are definitely not afraid to shit on our own fucking team. I am not afraid to say our team is bad right now after that fucking loss. So, like I said, we aren't afraid to just give our open-minded opinions about these games and these rosters.
All right, guys. We hope to see you guys week 8. Same time as always, 6 o'clock, 6:30. Yep. Around those times. I believe next week will be 6 o'clock on the dot. Yes. We'll be streaming. Hope to see you guys then. Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace. Peace.